Mr. Kumi has to be factored if he really accepts his role in BREN. Not only that, he's such a hard worker, knowing the lineups, really focusing on the Brim and the Omen for the team. And honestly, for one other thing that Kumi has been able to do in the Philippine scene, he was also part of that extremely dominant Adroit Esports squadron, which was the precursor to BREN Esports. So you already know he has such a winning track record in the Philippine scene, and I wouldn't have been surprised to have him added to the roster in the first place. But here we are already. Borkum finds the level, but Silver is there. The two duels of Empire striking at Borkum already, but one will go down along the way.
That's going to be a 1-for-1. Still some value because that's a two-man pushing in onto the A short, and Borkum still got some kills there, which means that it's pretty obvious 4 versus 4 for the moment. Can see that Empire Esports is going to be congregating a lot more outside of A, but slowly but surely, they are trying to maybe find some stragglers, maybe onto the mid. They know they have to find some angles here, but BREN Esports is just holding their own. Now, is that Jesse Vash? Yes, Jesse Vash is just going to be playing at the back of a market just to kind of get that information. He is setting up an arrow as well. Without that information anymore on mid, they might be looking at B here. And once the smokes are popped out, you know it's the B take.
Yeah, here we go. Dispenser going to be holding into the shed. Jesse Vash looking to line up a shock dart real quick. And Empire Esports now going to go for the push. Quick little dash on it, but look at that damage onto both the Jet and the Brimstone. This is going to be Empire falling on the part as Dispenser finds the angle onto 2. Next, he will go down after Silver. And here comes BREN. Good molly, though, to get in the way, but is it enough? No, Dispenser dispenses 1, 2, 3, and 4. A quad kill for the Killjoy to start things off.
This is why these guys are on top as of the moment. You think, you hear, you know people are going to be coming out B main, running up onto lane, onto the site immediately, but Dispenser holds his own. They don't peek him. They don't even know that he's there. And this is why they got just picked off one by one, because they didn't know, because they got the door shut down. But once that smoke dissipated, he was like, surprise, I'm here. Dispenser, like you said, dispenses multiple targets already. And honestly, that should have been just him flushed out, but he got some value with just holding a couple of seconds before challenging the plan.
I mean, 2 of those already low, and look at this. Jesse Vash with 4 assists on the board. The Silva really hitting critical shots in that push. But here comes quickly that paint shells, and Dubstep could be able to get through so far. Humi there to catch up to Silva as well. There's the push from BREN, and they want to make this round very, very quick. Let's leave Silver all alone with the Sheriff. But Mr. Asrai, look at the roster right now. BREN actually decided, okay, we know that Empire Esports can play a very mean post-plan situation. So they are going to be playing a very defensive favored composition wherein they have that Raze as their duelist. It's good for the entry on the attack, sure, but it's so good also for holding off with the paint shells. You have the Breach of Borkum to really contend, but Empire in the meantime, they do feel like they need to be quicker against BREN, and that is why they brought out the Jet and the Reyna instead.
Yeah, they're gonna have to try to do something here by force, and that's why, like I said, you are gonna be seeing those particular duelists. Now Dispenser is gonna be going with the big flanks already, and you bring a knife to a gunfight, and Dispenser just immediately takes care of Silver. Of course, that was just the weaker buy for Empire here, since they do need that economy. Now they'll be able to buy up. So maybe this time Dax is going to be the first try for the Empire squadron. But like you said, having that Killjoy, having that Sova, I don't think there's going to be a fast enough, what's the word for this, surprise factor for Empire, because Turret's going to spot you, Recon Dart's going to spot you, Sova Drone is going to spot you. So how are they going to be able to maneuver through all of that info gathering abilities and just catch off BREN? That's going to be, of course, up for Empire to try to do something, and it seems like it's going to be the mid-take, or at least mid-congregation for them to maybe get that map control.
And not only that, they have abilities that can really cut through the map. You have Borkum there on the breach, can get those wall lines to connect, and of course, some Raze lineups might be good here for Dubstep if he finds the angle in the first place. Jesse Vash, though, Aries in hand, and here for BREN Esports for now, they are just looking to seed mid and play on the sites instead. Closing down the door, though, and you can actually do this here on Ascent. If you feel like your site holds are better than just trying to contest that middle, then it will work out for you, as Empire is trying to push into the Cubby. Stiletto, though, trying to play the entry here, says hello to the turret, sees the side of Borkum there, beautiful flash into the peak. Dispenser will get that takedown, and BREN Esports already taking one down.
That timing is just immense coming in from them. Dispenser does get taken down, but he did activate his Nine Swarm just in time, as well as this Molly to stop the A-Short people from pushing in, which does pincer the members of Empire Esports. Still, they were able to push through because one was able to well, just get that control on A main. That was Nexi. He gets 2 kills, and now they open up the A side. Back to the 2 versus 2. Jesse Bash does have the Ares, so the long range might not up to his favor. Let's see if he can make this work out as he is using his abilities while waiting for Dubstep to come in from the short area. He's going to have to maybe back away, get that information. Dubstep does use his boom bot there, and they should know that they're coming in from 2 angles.
Yeah, and the Ares, he had that Recon Dart trying to go for wall bounce. If ever, Silver with a beautiful headshot onto 2. And already, Empire Esports saying, you know, second place is not enough for them, especially for Silver. He wants to go gold. He wants to be able to get the win, and he has really stepped up his game all throughout the playoffs.
Speaking of stepping up their game, one person, I think Illustrado was the one who mentioned this to me yesterday, that Nexi has been, like, he's not a flashy dude.
Yes, sir.
To say at the least, but his ability to read opponents, similar to how I described Spencer, is phenomenal. Like, he can just lurk and get the kills that he needs. His positioning is also, you know, amazing. And that that push that he did on A main got 2 kills, which opened up the A side. Granted, you know, Silver got the nice little clutch at the end of the round, but that was only possible because Nexi opened up the A side, which also allowed Empire Esports to get that functionality, or sorry, to get that opportunity to get on to the side itself.
I mean, that's what we saw yesterday in the semifinals between Empire and Mira. Nexi was the one who opened that second bind, but right now, Humi's the one who defends A to impunity. Nexi and Stiletto will go down, even though you can rely on your Sentinel here for Empire to actually try and open it up, but against BREN Esports, it might be too much to handle, and it really has been Humi stepping up his game also. It really just goes to show here, Mr. Astrai, that all the changes that these teams have brought to Valorant Challengers Philippines have been working out for them.
Agreed, very, very much. There's so much that they've done, not only with the roster changes, but I'm pretty sure I said this yesterday, they have, or they only do scrims with international teams, and international teams that have high position, high rankings in the overall C region as well. So BREN do have that kind of understanding and edge that you just don't see with other Filipino teams here. Granted, of course, everybody's going to play catch-up, and BREN still has to deal with the talents that we have here in the Philippines, but in terms of those strategies, in terms of understanding each other and what they have to do in each and every second, BREN got this. Borkum, though, still able to get the 1-up onto Silver, and it's just going to be the mowdown on A short, taking them down, and now BREN Esports is that 3-1.
Not just once, but twice. Borkum shrugging off bullets says, you know, I'm gonna flash you, you know, I'm gonna go up to these rafters, and I'm gonna be good to take you down. Borkum looking pretty much to be Mr. Immortal, even though he's already died twice here. BREN Esports, though, being led by Dispenser and Dubstep. Yet again, these guys so reliable, and I'm really liking what I see here from Dispenser. He has that lockdown, and if BREN Esports decides to choose to play retake, then they have that quick little circle, that Dome of Doom, to encircle and encompass Empire Esports.
Now, something I've kind of been wondering here for Empire is the past 2-3 rounds, they've been kind of challenging A main way too often, Dax, and more so than not, they've lost 1 or 2 members. That's not really what you want to see happening, especially when Humi just keeps popping up that one-way smoke on A main. I don't understand why Empire are going to be challenged ever so often. Maybe because they do have the duelists, like you said, they're going to be trying to maybe get the catch-off. They have that mobility with the Rain and Dismiss and the Tailwind, but if it's going to happen for like too many rounds, it's costing Empire a couple of rounds here as well. Granted, though, they did win a couple, just the one, but it's still not going to be enough. Now, I wasn't sure if I did see Empire buy, but for the moment, oh, they're not? Okay, so they're just playing a little bit slow here onto the A short, but they also got to be careful because a Brim Molly is possible just to stop them in their tracks.
Oh, Mido does get rid of Draxi, but Silver with that Blade Storm. This can actually allow Empire to get the gun there by the Gardens, but instead, they're going to try to fortify with a turret there. Spike now going to get planted. Empire Esports looking to plant the first seeds on a site. But look at the lineups here from Jesse Badge, looking to mow down whoever's still by the Generator or that double box. But the Aldrone will now say hello. This is Brendo trying to peek before they go on in. That's lockdown now into play. That's why just left that Crimson all alone. But counter lockdown, I believe, into play. Hunter's Fury have to try and catch it out from the side of Empire. Showstopper though, and Dubstep finds Bat goes there. Even takes down Silver. The push right now from Bren. Will it actually make it in time? Oh no, the classic! Not enough firepower, but there's still one guy remaining with Bren having a gun out. Borkum running on around. Does Bren have enough time to defuse Empire with the lineup? This is what we're talking about all throughout the series of Empire Esports, but no, even if Nexi does get rid of Borkum, it's little too late. Dubstep will get the 4K to wrap it up, and these two teams showing how smart they can be.
That is the one annoying thing that you have to kind of put into the equation. Whether you're a Brimstone, whether you're a Viper, whether in this situation you're a KJ, the Killjoy, sorry, your what's called this, the trajectory speed or the speed that the Molly travels is way too slow. So you have to be faster in setting up that lineup, or it's not going to work out for you. He saw that only 2 players were detained, so that means that 1 is still going to be able to challenge. So trying to get the kills on those 2 detained players on BREN would not be beneficial, but still. I think there might have been a little bit of lag time there in the brain of Nexi that just said to him, what am I going to do here? And the setup was just a bit too slow. Dubstep again challenging the one-way, not working in the favor of Empire.
This is the thing. Empire a while ago, they threw that Nano Swarm, but BREN has already started the defuse. Borkum was ready to put his foot down and get rid of the spike on A side. Great pickoff though here from BREN Esports. And this is the thing, we saw from Empire last time as Dubstep actually catches out Thraxi there. Really, this Raze looking nigh unstoppable. What we saw from Empire was a defense, I'll say defense-centric duelist duo here on the during the semifinals. As Dubstep, he just wraps things up here on A-Main, doesn't he, with 3 kills. But yeah, they played the Phoenix and the Raze last time against Chimera because they felt like they needed to hold the sites more. They need to use that utility to actually get on site. This time, though, they know against BREN, they have to be very quick, but still not working. It's only the Jets and the Silver left. Batgo is going to be sticking on the round alongside Silver. Do they get the angles? Because BREN Esports, not only do they have that Orbital Strike, but they also have that Rolling Thunder. Really good ultimates for B sites.
And that's why you're seeing Batgos just push out right now, because playing in the back of site is basically suicidal. He's just going to be flushed out here, a couple of flashes here and there, and he's not going to be able to provide to try to push for that clutch because there's so much utility. Orbital Strike was already expended at the back of the B side, and Batgos was like, crap, how am I going to be able to do this with 4 members of BREN coming in forward? Front, back, left, and right. There's just too many angles for me to deal with. And as a Sova, it's not really going to happen unless he gets maybe 1 or 2 kills in just a span of very quick seconds. And it didn't happen. So BREN, again, just surgical retake on that B site.
It's good to see the Brimstone here on Ascent. Back in the day when Brimstone was just kind of a weak pick in general, the only time you'd see him on a map like this would just to be laser down that B site. But here we are, both Humi as well as Draxi knowing what they can do with those mollies. But Empire Esports struggling against BREN right now. The Titans of the Philippine scene proving how strong they can be with a 5-1 scoreline as we do get into a pause. But what do you think here, Mr. Asa? It really feels like BREN is just so on point with the rotations and with the speed. They help each other out every single time.
For BREN, nothing much to comment about that. They've just been, again, just doing BREN things. They're able to just, like you said, communicate very quickly and just rotate in the nick of time to be able to stop Empire in their tracks. Now, Empire, at least for the time that we've seen them in the playoffs in Ascent, have been better on the defending side rather than on the attacking. So maybe once they swap out the rounds or swap out the sides here, this is when we're going to see them start to pop off. Of course, that's not an excuse for them to keep losing the attacking side here, so they have to make something happen. One of the things that they've done while there's a little bit of shooting happening in front of you guys is that you saw that last round, they were selling a lot of fakes on A main, which kind of worked out in the end. But when you're gonna be expending it with Stiletto, who is on Arena, who's such an important agent for clutch position, clutch plays, it's not the best of things to have. And you saw that having only Silver and Batghost there was not enough firepower, so they have to try to sell with something else, and maybe allow Stiletto to try to clutch.
Orbital Strike though already by defense side. Draxi burning down Dispenser, and Nexi comes close enough to get rid of 2. Lane control here from Nexi, holding off the opposition yet again. 4v2 right now. And the question is, how will BREN Esports play this out? It seems like they do still have that showstopper available. Already a flank here from Dubstep. Humi though, breaking the dart real quick. These angles, though, being held by Empire will be very dangerous for BREN to try and siege on in. You can see the Rages now to go for the save, but Silver now gonna be peeking just to die. Dubstep with that takedown. Nexi still there by the lane. Humi actually picking out Draxi, and BREN says, sure, you can have this point, you can have this round, but we will try to take your lives. Batghost though with that takedown. Dubstep will clean up house, and BREN Esports will say mutually assured destruction. Would go again, but everyone has to be dead.
You just spelled mad.
I mean, that's the acronym, sir.
Really? Yeah. Oh, I did not know that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, they just shut down the lid on any members of Empire here. They're gonna try to escape the B site. So it's a very expensive round for both of these teams. But you know, BREN, since they got like 3 straight rounds, they got money to buy for days. That's kind of the same thing for Empire here, they will be able to buy, but you can see that they're going to be struggling the next round if they do keep losing for the moment. Now, again, question is, are they going to challenge the A main? Look at that, nobody even peeking it. Maybe they're just going to leave Nexy's turret there for the most part, but it's going to be the mid control as Borkum is playing keep away on that A short. He's going to be trying to go aggressive into this one, but Stiletto is there to the party to stop Borkum from making anything happen anymore in that particular area.
I love that from Empire. They were going for the crossfire, and basically wherever Borkum would go, unless he was hiding in the cubby itself, he would be dead in the water. Gotta give the Nexy though from that last round. Great lane hold. Silver though opening it up. Dispenser says hello to Batco, who's busy playing with his drone. And the Killjoy will be breaking whatever the Sova's toys have in the first place. 2v4 situation though yet again. And this is where Empire can really pick it up. Nexy though finds Umi. Beautiful pick off there onto A side. And Nexy finding his momentum to really open things up yet again. His patience is unparalleled right now on that Sentinel. That's what we're seeing here. And this is going to be Empire putting it down on A site.
And the beauty of this one is that they basically left Dispenser to try to clutch everything. Get spotted, they know where he is. He's gonna try to deal with this one. Dispenser awakens through the eye, flicks to the head of Stiletto, and well, basically shuts him up and says, even through that flash, I am still gonna be able to bash. Oh my goodness, Dispenser. I don't think he's going to be able to clutch, but that was just a nutty shot coming in from him. Now there is going to be one popping outside on top of, top mid here as Draxi is looking to pincer in. Now Dispenser is getting hunted down like the dog that he is, but can or will they try to do that because they got no money, and now Dispenser, he gets a taste of his own medicine. It's his time to have his knife out in a gunfight.
Yeah, back to the pound he goes, and this is going to be BREN Esports losing 2 in a row. Empire Esports, they do take a bit of a while on the first map to get their momentum up and running, but it seems like they are seeing strides here and now. Nexy though, doing an amazing job yet again. Back in the day, at the early parts of Empire Esports, he was the one who could rely on to flex on over, not only play the Sentinels like this, he also played controller, he also played Sage, he also played Duelist as well. And he has really been such a core component of this Empire Esports roster. But the thing is, BREN has done a good job to shut down Stiletto and more or less make it a more average game here for Silver. Dubstep though whipping out the operator, and we already know what kind of indication this is from BREN. It's Dubstep's time to shine and snipe everyone in these lanes.
That's the scary thing about that one, though, is Dubstep already can hit these shots, and coupled with the Sova drone from Jesse Vash, it's just even more difficult because he gets that information of where he needs to look when he, kind of just sets things up with his crosshair. And that's a scary, scary thing. Now, there is going to be a lot of challenges coming out here. If you don't have a flash, Dubstep will get an easy shot. Borkum does try to challenge with his flash there. Now he knows he can one out, and he does connect. Here comes the showstopper. Kumbaya. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hit. But Dubstep is still taking control on this B main with the bomb, or the spike rather, spotted out.
Yeah, 4v3 right now. Gotta give it to Dubstep. He whipped out that showstopper because if anyone pushes him, he's not on that jet anymore. He needs to find a way to kill them immediately. But really smart there from Empire, expecting the rocket launcher to come, and they will back on out just a little bit more and retrieve the spike instead. Now the journey is over to A site. Silver saying, let's go on a picnic, let's move to the tree area, let's go over to the gardens. But someone is watching, saying there are no picnics allowed, no fun allowed here. Borkum will get that shut down, but Nexy with the refrag along the way. Umi though has been doing a good job here on A site. This time don't be flicking to the wall, and Nexy will take the opportunity to get that takedown instead. Spike though gonna get planted, 2v2 situation, and Bad Goes gonna be trying to go on the inside. He finds the flag onto Dubstep, which leaves Jesse Bash all alone in a 1v1 slate. Nexy though throwing everything he can and more. Lockdown gonna get broken. Nexy doesn't get the time to actually go for the peek behind the generator. There we go with the shot, and Nexy is just next level right now. Empire Esports has to thank this guy for keeping the Empire alive.
Nexy is a monster. That just put it in like a tag on an article or something already, because he is single-handedly clutching these rounds, opening up sights, being able to push rounds for Empire even when he is playing on a Sage. You don't see that every day, but when you do, you know it's Nexi. That was just phenomenal coming in from him. He was at 11 HP if I'm not mistaken, but also kudos to Bad Ghost for being able to sneak through. He knew Dubstep was on his left there, but he went for the full spray control because he wanted to punish Jesse Vash as he was trying to rotate. Granted, he did not get though, but that 1-for-1 definitely allowed Nexi to do what he needed to give the round for Empire.
He just really bought so much time, and it got a bit dicey because Nexi could have actually gotten rid of Jesse Vash there while he was breaking that lockdown. But hey, the shot still connects, Nexi's on fire, and we see it again here from Empire Esports, tanking the Killjoy for everything he's done and more. Advantage now for Empire Esports. They have the one-man up in a round. They can tie up the scoreline. Stiletto finding confidence, and you know, this has been a big tenet of Empire Esports. When one pops off, everyone starts popping off. They just feed off each other's energy, like Nexi has been feasting on Humi here on A side. Here we go again for Empire Esports. They have really turned it around, and many have said if they were going to be taking a map away from BREN, it might be this one, as Silver even finds Jesse Vash. Look at how much time Empire has to juggle around that spike, get some ultimate points on some of the other members, which now leaves Borkum all alone by the walkway. Will he see one more? That's Stiletto there, gonna get flicked, but Stiletto able to crouch on down and get that takedown. Empire is tying up the game here, Asarai.
That was a weaker buy for BREN for sure, but the surgical attack that Empire did use to just get the control on mid, get the one shutdown with Stiletto in the forefront there, really open things up. And like you said, Dax, they are bringing it around town. They're bringing it around town as it seems like we are neck and neck. And from the looks of it, are we on a tactical pause? It's not popping up just yet, but I think they are.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah,
No,
no, I can hear it. Yeah, never mind. It was just taking too long. The round just debated me a little bit.
Sometimes time stands still.
That's true.
Usually those are situations where you're a bit scared about something, you're waiting for something, we're trying to hit that shot, but Dubstep hits the shot there on the Draxi. Hunter Fury into play, Dispenser finds one more, and really that's so incredible here from BREN because they're being proactive with the Hunter Fury just like that. They peek the angles where someone can hide. Silver though inside the smoke catches out Borkum, and here we go with BREN Esports, so pretty much throwing their advantage away. It's now 3v3 after all is said and done. Lockdown available here for BREN, Bladestorm ready for Empire. We'll see who can actually get pushed on. Dispenser and Nexi gonna be trading blows, and apparently now it's gonna be a 2v2.
But there is Nexi already, I would say, crippled here, so there's not much that he can really do, but rather just support Silver. And this big flank coming in from Humi might put Empire in a bad state, in a disadvantageous state, as he is already in a nice little angle on top mid. He's waiting. Can he hear the footstep? I think he does. And he was able to pass through the turret. They might not even suspect he's going to be here because Nexi doesn't have his weapon out, or is he going to peek to the left? Oh, this is going to be detrimental. And Humi spots it out. That's going to be the drop on the spike, but he might actually get spotted out by Silver as well. That's going to be the 1-2-1. 25 seconds left onto that clock, and it's going to be the run all the way to the A side, or the Silver know that Jesse Vash is there to challenge him.
Time is taking head-to-head time, and Jesse Vash Silver getting a guns out, but Jesse Vash a bit too quick on the flick, on the hit, and Vash will reign supreme here as BREN Esports will be able to be one up. But man, oh man, did you see how the Hunter Fury was just used there by BREN Esports? Even though Vash didn't really get any kills, it's like, hey, can you quickly check that corner for me? Thank you very much. And he has 9 assists in this game just because of plays like that.
That was not a random Hunter's Fury just to try to spot things out. They got Hunter's Fury lineups. They got, like you said, scouting out with your teammates and trying to flush things out. And everybody, of course, does not want to get it by the Hunter's Fury. So everybody's dodging. Everybody's in a precarious position. And there you see BREN was peeking out. Now, the one thing that allowed Empire to be able to still win this round out while everybody was still alive there, or while most of them were alive, was that BREN was a little bit, I would say, predictable with how they pushed out. Dispenser and Borkum going for that pincer play, both on B main and A short, was predicted by Empire, and that peek out from Silver, as well as the shutdown, I think, by one of the members of Empire on Dispenser really did help him out. Now Dubstep throws out a nade, does soften up a couple of the members here, and they cannot defend this A short area, but at least the smoke will give them a little bit of leeway, a little bit of space, as Empire still has a lot of utility to work with, as well as that lockdown, and of course Stiletto, now the battle boss music with that that Empress.
Yeah, he wants to be a raid boss here, and now 3 ultimates for both sides. The lockdown's into play, and I believe we are going to see it again here, Mr. Asarai. Venn diagrams built on the map, and Dubstep going to be playing by the doorway. Attacking Killjoy losing the lockdown already. Defense will be trying to go for the hit. There's a detain, and there's the damage being done. It seems like for BREN Esports, it's all getting on the wine side. It's all about to clear, and they just push on and wiping out Empire Esports, trying to hide in the corner. Well, next he gets to, it's not enough time to try and fight back, and BREN Esports will corner Empire right now, make their territory even smaller, and swap over to the attack.
We need to ask a quick replay there as we have ourselves a little bit of 40-second break for this second half switching, because that was so quick. I honestly thought that Empire had everything set up into the motion, but for the most part, there was, again, I believe, BREN having the lockdown positioning to force everybody to go to wine, and then while Humi and Dispenser was alive, there was like 3 circles of mollies, 2 nano swarms, and the molly itself from the brimstone that they will get flambéed in. So here we go. Yeah, see, they were all put up there, and there was a lineup yesterday that we saw from BREN that they put on wine, and it just flambéed everybody, and that was what happened here again today. Thank you so much for the production for that as well.
I just gotta say that both Empire and BREN, these 2 teams know how to line it up on Ascent.
Yeah.
Empire is really impressed from what we've seen so far in this map. BREN, in the meantime, I've heard a few reports of a bit of discomfort in scrims on Ascent, but they still know their homework. Vash, knowing the lineups, Humi doing a really good job, very hardworking player, learning those mollies, and of course, for Dispenser, he's like, oh, I'm just gonna toss that Nano Swarm there. I already know it's gonna hit, and you can really see it's still confidence for BREN Esports coming into this map. Alarm Bot will say hello as Dispenser gets the start, and Batco is gonna be going on down. Empire right now gonna be losing one already by the market. It's all up to BREN for this mid control, and with mid control Asteroid comes choices, and that choice can be a power to go onto A site.
That's really good because nobody is going to be prepared to go for this one. It's all going to be looking towards to the market. The door is going to be closed, but it's only going to stop BREN for a smidge of a second here. Stiletto, he's looking for the timing. He knows that somebody's right behind him. Can he dispense? Borgum, not going to happen. And it's all left into the hands of Silver. He does have a frenzy and a dream, but this weapon is not good in a pistol fight, especially when we have 5 opponents to try to deal with. Going to peek to the left. There is a turret there. He's dashing away, and they know now where he is. And run, Silver, run. Yippee-ki-yay. As now the little peeks from Borgum, the stun as well, and he is in no man's land. Peekaboo, I see you. Dispenser gets 3, and that is 8-5 in favor of BREN.
8-5 indeed. BREN Esports taking that pistol, and looking at these 2 lineups, Mr. Asarai, it really feels like it's not about the post-match situation. It's about that plan. So this is something we were talking about from the past few days, especially that these teams know the lineup so well.
Yeah.
If you have a full roster on the attacking side, who have not used their utilities, and they get the free plant on the site, it is just going to be so hard to defuse that thing. You have the molly, you have the shock darts, you have Nano Swarm, you can even add in pain shells and even the blastbacks and even the fold line here from BREN Esports. So really, Empire is on a timer every single round on the defense. They need to be quick. That's why they want to be running that Jet Brain composition set as Borkum catches out Nexi. But maybe, what if they ran that Phoenix and Raze instead to try and hold off the opposition? It's a lot of questions right now that need to be answered by Empire, but the biggest thing they really need to do right now is to get some picks against BREN.
The thing about that is, since they do have this duelist comp pickups rather that they are using on the defense side, the thing that they really have to do right now is try to set up these crossfires and peek outs. But BREN knows this. That one peek out from Nexi, it's kind of obvious already to BREN. Nexi has impeccable timing with his pushouts, but BREN is just burning the time so that Nexi tries to do something. And they're peeking out these corners one by one. There's no chance that Empire is going to be the sneak one in, and BREN is just forcing their hand to go onto the A side, and Vash even spots a couple. Maybe if they take down Vash, they can pick up this Phantom and use it to clutch the round. But he is just feeling so good right now. Even whips out the Classic just for a little bit. And he was able to get through that angle, but Silver takes him out. That's going to be the Phantom, but already Dubstep is on the case.
Silver's lethality with any gun, with even just knives out, is unquestionable. He is an amazing player here for Empire, really stepping it up time to time again. But then again, it's Jesse Vash just knowing exactly what to do. He hasn't lit up the scoreboard, honestly. He had like about 2 kills for quite a while, now he's 5. but the 11 assists are such a big deal here for BREN Esports because Borkum hasn't really popped off in the way that we expect him from the Breach. This was a problem last time they played off against Atlas, I believe, because with Borkum going down, there is no real help with the fault lines, with the Rolling Thunders. There have been times where Borkum has been felled pretty early on into the fight. That's why his scoreline isn't the best, but it really has just been step-up games from all of BREN so far that they really don't need the extra utility anymore. But hey, flashpoints are always helpful. Dispenser will get that takedown. Look how these lineups work. And Silver bumps into Batclus, but Batclus actually gets a shock dart onto Dubstep. In all of that chaos, in all of those fluttered movements, it's Empire falling on apart. They did get one kill, but BREN Esports is just rampaging and stampeding. It seems like we are going to be looking to see this Empire tumble on down back to the ground if BREN Esports keeps this up.
You say that Borkum wasn't able to do, you know, much with his
Breach,
and then it's like this, like 3 flashes that basically flushes out Stiletto, that forces Silver and Batghost to try to run onto the site, and they're like, "Yeah, Dax, be a little bit quiet there, because we hear you, man, we hear you."
That's the thing. That's the fun thing about casting. Sometimes you point something out, and they immediately prove you wrong.
Exactly.
Granted, this was the Flashpoint gameplay that Borkum is known to do. He is amazing at flashes time and time again. We saw it first in Breach, then we saw it on the Phoenix. It's funny because, you know, Breach, he set it up, Phoenix, he knocks it down and flashes. And we have seen it also this playoffs with the Sky. If Flash is your game, Borkum is your man. And BREN Esports right now up by 5. Empire Esports in the meantime, they need to shake things off because Nexi, Silver stepping it up. The rest of the team right now having a tough game.
Tough, definitely an understatement here. Silver, he just wanted to try to spot one out. He does even bring Dispenser to 39, but Dispenser is so on point with his shots. He's not going to miss, and he's just going to be able to win those duels. There is, like, these type of aggressive plays from Empire, these are not really, how do I say this, like risk. That's not the word I'm looking for. Anyways, I'm going to get back to you on that one. BREN is going to be rotating to A here as they do get a couple of kills on short, on market, on B main. And they're like, we basically flushed everybody out. Let's just go for a quick, clean little A take here while we still do have this Overdrone. And it was doing a 360 for such a long time. And you know they got some information. They're just going to take it. And Dubstep is going to clear A heaven.
Yeah, they're just snowballing out of control. And this is the thing about BREN Esports. They're the best team for a reason. They've done their homework. They get the job done. But the one thing they have over the local scene is when they snowball, it is just unparalleled. Look at that, a team ace. When do you see that? It just means that every single person of BREN Esports right now has taken down a member of Empire, which just basically hurts Empire even more. But here we go. It's Empire's time to bring out the operator. We always say there's a tale of 2 Empires, one with the rifles, one with the op. And Silver gonna be looking for the picks. All eyes on Silver here coming into this round. Does BREN read it properly? Will they notice that it is going to be Empire on the ropes to whip at that operator? Or will they walk in the sidelines of the Jet? We'll find out as we get into the next round.
This is risky though, because he's going to go with the naked op. It's Glass Cannon Operator, you know? It's 2 terms, same meaning. He doesn't have shield, he doesn't have armor. Draxi, run for your life. Let's see if you got the electric boogaloo, as he's going to be able to actually just dance away from the ultimate of Jesse Bash, and he even uses his Molotov just to stop them in the track. Sorry, Molly is the correct term. In any case, though, this has been what Draxi did use, I believe, in their match up against Archangel, where he did use it to try to control their opponents, but there is a different timing for BREN. But let's see if Stiletto can make the impact happen. He does get the one, even puts Jesse Bash to low HP, and this is looking better, way, way better for the Empire team.
Empire now with a man advantage, and they do have the high ground so far.
Nexi!
Spike don't black down, and Nexi actually catching out Jesse Bash there, leaving now the Killjoy and the Breach here for BREN Esports. Draxi though trying to break this door. Dispenser breaks the faces, and BREN Esports controlling the high ground right now. But while this is happening, the door has been busted. Draxi is there to say hello and make this a 1v1. Dispenser now quite low. Nanoswarm doesn't really get the connection. And where will Dispenser come from? From above, drops on down, dancing by the generator. Already made it halfway, but that is going to be the Brimstone getting that takedown. Empire Esports able to clutch it out, but BREN, they made it so close in the end. Everyone coming from the high ground falling flat on their face.
That was too close for comfort, but it's something that Empire will have to just try and be comfortable with themselves. Did they actually get the operator for Silver there? No, they weren't able to. That was bad. Well, I mean, they clutched the round, but definitely that was a pricey one for them because they cannot supplement the economy for Silver's sniper plays. In any case, though, that does keep them afloat. That does stave off BREN from getting that match point. But BREN, look at this 5-man stack outside B main. Are they going to go for something unorthodox and just rush it in? Now they're just going to set things up, get that information, and maybe back away. But this does open up something. How did they actually get that smoke there? Oh, no, that was the smoke for Empire. Anyways, it's going to be the B site as they do have the Kumbayas. They do have the Porkum ult as well, and everybody getting flushed out. Now, Silver's still in the back of the site. Maybe he can hold this off as his teammates are here for the response.
Great response there from Empire. They got in the way. They saw the Rays popping that showstopper, and now it becomes a 3v1. But Jesse Vash, we've seen him perform miracles before, but apparently it's not going to be that day of the week. Silver does get 3 instead. 11-7, Empire climbing on back. And we've seen this before. We've actually streaked in the first half. Maybe, just maybe, Empire can make it a closer game now.
It's workable. It's workable. The tale of two teams. The tale of two empires. You said this, right?
Yes, sir.
But now we're going to see the tale of two BRENs as Dubstep picks up an operator. Yeah, guys, if you're just watching and you don't know who BREN is, Dubstep is their main op, their main sniper player. He usually plays with a Reyna and a Jet. But he does like to use the Rays if he needs a little bit more utility. And now he's back on this one. They did spot him out, so they will play accordingly to this one because Dubstep is a phenom on this particular sniper. Actually, what am I saying? He did use the sniper, in the first half, but maybe someone who's just popping right in. But I'm just saying as well.
I mean, the big thing now is BREN is on the attack. Empire needs to change their pace immediately. They have to respect the operator 1, but also find the best timing to push the Rays 2. Because he has no disengage properly unless he really sets up the blast backs first and foremost. The other thing is he doesn't have the showstopper anymore, so there's a backup weapon suddenly pushing him and you get blown up 2 smithereens right in front of you. So here for Empire, they also have 5 ultimates ready to go. Stiletto look to pop off and Dubstep gonna get seen there through the one-way. There we go with the takedown. Empire will say we can challenge that, we can get that kill. And the best part about this is Stiletto, since he popped that Empress a while ago, it will refresh and he wants to go for more souls.
Show me your legs, Stiletto says onto Dubstep, and well, he's the one who spots it out first. I mean, it's something that Empire are going to be happy to do with, and it seems like Stiletto has awakened. The beast, Kevs, is here, able to take 2, finally gets a shutdown on him, but BREN has already lost 3 members. Jesse Bash is going to be playing the operator. He knows how to use this, but on a Sova, there's only as much as he can do, and Dispenser's also here, so Dispenser has to open up something unless they just want to play safe and save these weapons for the next round.
It's a 50-50 here. If Dispenser can actually get on A site, they might try to go for it. If not, Jesse Vash will just run on away. Dispenser with the open, but there's no time this time. BREN will be able to secure the A side of the map. They're happy to save the operator. They're happy to save a rifle, but Empire Esports, Stiletto finally finding some fire within him, and he really showed up in that round.
Yeah, he just obliterated members left and right, one by one as well. Like, he was on A main, and he was like, I'm going to make some value here on A short because nobody's going to be pushing the main anymore. Proves out, he procures a couple more kills. He's only up to 7, but honestly, when you're in this type of game that every kill has an impact, even just being 7 kills when you're getting the important ones is very, very, substantial. In any case, though, you are seeing the average combat score of Dubstep, 263.3. That just means that Dubstep is able to just be in a lot of value. And, I mean, in terms of the fights here, and now he's going to be trying to open up stuff on the B. You're going to peek that. You're going to peek that Dubstep. He's going to peek it, and he's going to lose the silver.
Yeah, he's going to die there. The operator says, hello, good sir. Would you like to die? And Nexi also going to be adding 1 up. Empire now firing on yet again. Seems like we are seeing the rebuild the Empire so far. But can they actually set on back and get those score lines? Dispenser though with his zone. And that is going to be Stiletto forced out just to die. Double peek though from Empire. Tried to go for the takedown. Didn't work out. BREN Esports really setting that one up to get a free kill.
4 ultimates are up here for Empire. If they lose this, I don't know what's going to be up because they have so much utility to work with. They have the numbers advantage, and they don't really have... I mean, if they lose this round, I feel like it's going to be over because the momentum is going to just be lost in their favor. Here's another thing. Every entry fragger that BREN has, as well as any entry point, any entry utilities that they can use, aside from maybe the Sova here, is gone. Dubstep is out. They don't have Borkum anymore. And this is the perfect time for Empire to strike strike back, so to speak.
He doesn't really want to get the Star Wars out, but Draxi,
Yes, sir.
he's stepping up as well, and here we go again. When Empire feeds off one player, everyone gets the nurture there. The Brimstone stepping it up also, and this is like best case scenario here for Empire. Not only are their bottom fragging players rising up, but they still have 4 ultimates here, Mr. Asteroid. They've been so efficient with these takedowns. It is going to be Jesse Bash, though, shutting out Draxi. There we go with the time running out. Empire looking to peek this one, swinging on the way. Bat goes, will shut down the operator there. And BREN now can't snipe back. It's up to them to figure out what to do because Empire has taken 4 in a row to really come close to this game.
I just want to point something out as well. This composition for BREN, again, we all know, guys, you're going to be... you're going to be comparing VALORANT with another game that we know, right? But here, agents matter. Picking up your agents matter. And because Dubstep was forcing himself to play that sniper for the past 2 rounds, there hasn't really been any entry fragging prowess for any of them because he's the only duelist up there. So he has to make entry fragging work. And that's kind of difficult when you're an entry fragger and a sniper all at the same time. Unless maybe you're like, a Jet or anything. But yeah, that's going to be the Hunter's Fury up against each other. So who's going to be the better archer? Is it going to be on Empire or is it going to be BREN? It seems like it's BREN because they took out Stiletto in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, that's perfect. When the Reina cannot fight directly, cannot fight properly, then it is going to be an agent dead in the water. And that's one way for BREN to mitigate their single duelist composition. If Dubstep cannot execute, make something happen with their ultimates. Really good takedown there by Jesse Vash. He's been rising up as well to get those kills, but they cannot commit onto this one as of yet, with Empire reinforcing over onto A side. Bit of a rotation though, Silver checking out the middle, looking to play into B. Fake though from BREN, and they want to make this push work.
Again, if they try to do this, there's still 3 ultimates that Empire can use to stop them in their tracks. They have the lockdown, they have the orbital strike, but that goes same with BREN, who also has the same utility here. Fault lines as well as the smokes being popped out, and here comes Dubstep onto the fight, and they're gonna try to go into the meat grinder with Draxi into the front lines. Let's see if Batghost can pick it up, and yes, he does! They're gonna be able to get the plant down on that spike, and Borkum is just holding him off on the short here. Now it's all about that retake, and Nexi activates the lockdown.
The lockdown gonna be there, and Nexi trying to just detain everyone along the way. Silver though on the high ground, the Dubstep gonna be peeking by the box and does get that kill. Trying to go for the black. Batghost though holding strong. 1 second left. Do we see the race get on the way? There's the detain, but the thing is, they don't really know where Dubstep is. Empire instead gonna be going for the defuse, but Jesse Bash with a big surprise onto Nexi. He has to come on close. Batghost getting halfway, and the 2 Sovas looking to meet in pitch combat through the doorway. Guns are out, bows and arrows trying to string on along, but here comes BREN. They are gonna swing, they're gonna get that takedown, and with pretty much a second to spare, they will be on match point.
You talk about how well Dubstep entried, you talk about how Borkum was able to defend the A short so that nobody from Empire can push in, but Vash knew that if he just went for the long flank from going to A main to A short, he would catch the members of Empire off guard because everybody was looking A main as well as A heaven there because they knew that somewhere on their own spawn was Dubstep to be, and that just costed the round for Empire. Granted, of course, it had to be, it just had to be a risk, but the risk that they did not win, and that's going to be a 12-9 with BREN now looking at match point.
They're really staring to get this first map, and this is going to be the best case scenario here for BREN, if ever. Ascent has been a test for Empire to really show their stuff. They've been impressive on a map like this. This, I believe, has been their map pick also. So when it was down to it, this is the best chance Empire has against BREN Esports. Now then, over to B side, we'll see if this BREN Menace can actually make it over to this angle. They have 3 ultimates available, the Showstopper, the Orbital Strike, and the Lockdown. All very good in the AoE areas of B.
Okay. Slow but surely. Lockdown initiated, and BREN is looking to stop this. So for the moment, BREN with Dispenser on the Killjoy has kind of used this to go around, go back, and, kind of fake a B, but now they're actually just going to utilize it and just force their will on the site. Somebody's already taking some damage from the Nano Swarm. Nexi peeks out, but Dispenser was prepared to take him out, and these smokes really are stopping Empire from making something work out. They don't have many ultimates to work with, and BREN still has an Orbital as well as a Showstopper. What can they do? This is the best positioning from them to do on right now, and yeah, like you're pointing out, Dax, Humi is once again out of reach because he has another lineup with the Molly. they have to chase down. They know that there's going to be a B main player there, but they have to go in.
The hunt is on both the Brimstone as well as the Killjoy trying to go for the angles. There we go now with Jesse Bash going on down. Empire actually getting the hunt on, and it's now going to be 2v3, but the laser beam is there, and the Sky will say it's time to drop this down on the defuse. BREN Esports looking to play for time, looking to take the win, and a